It's every woman's victim story of why we would have an affair. Is what our husbands have done, not done, have made us feel, not made us feel, that the affair happened and we were vulnerable to another man being interested in us.
Hello, I'm Karen Seitz, and this is the Happy Wife School. This podcast is for married women to realize that we are responsible for our happiness, that no one and no thing can make us happy, and that our husbands are not the source of our unhappiness. In each episode, I red pill married women to know that we are the problem in our marriages to good men. For the good men, this podcast will wake you up to the realities of your wife's woman ways, to take back the power you've unknowingly given away to her emasculation in a constructive, caring way. Before we dive into today's episode, a couple reminders. My message is meant for common and usual marital issues. My podcast is not intended for abusive, violent, or compulsive behaviors in a marriage that are threatening or dangerous. Also, please take a second to visit my website and learn more about my courses, which offer solutions for married women and good men. You can find the link in the description below. With all that being said, let's get started.
Can you save a marriage if your wife has cheated? I also want to point you guys, I've done 2 other really important episodes under the live tab on the channel, or you can search them on Spotify or Apple as well. But there's an episode on why good men cheat, and there's an episode on why women cheat. And there's some very good nuances and important understandings to know in the perspective that I teach in those live episodes. So please check that out if you are dealing with this and navigating this in your marriage. Those are 2 really important episodes to listen to. So I'm answering a question today. So I have a link in the description of my videos where people can submit questions to be answered in the framework and principles that I teach on the Happy Wife School. So just an important reminder that I'm using this question as a talking point. I don't know this man. I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to his wife. I don't know the whole story. I'm just using his question and what he wrote into me as a jumping off point to use this as a talking point on a common issue. Sadly, infidelity is a very common issue in marriage between a woman and a good man. And we are just using this to discuss that common problem and put some perspective around it in a specific way in regards to what this man is asking in his question. So I'm going to read what he wrote. My wife and I were married in 2003. We have 4 kids together. I discovered in 2023 that my wife had been having a 5-year affair. She then broke up with him. At the time of discovery, I realized the bigger picture was my kids' well-being. And even though I wasn't sure how I was going to deal with the infidelity and healing, I knew I wanted the best for them. And to me, that meant staying in the marriage at least until the youngest graduates. More recently, she says we need to go to a therapist together if we are going to both work on this. Since she has complained to me, to most of our family and friends, and made me out to be so bad as a husband and father, I am not interested in seeing a therapist with her. I watched your video on this and totally agree it would be easy for her to turn a therapist on me. How do I convey to her that I want to work on things together, but I do not intend to have a therapist or counselor be involved, and that my timeline and healing process may be much different than what she has in mind? So thank you to the man who wrote that in, and just want to say good for you to recognize how your wife has created the case against you with your friends and family, and knowing that marriage counseling would just be an extension of her turning another person, the therapist, against you and making you the problem in her infidelity, in her 5-year affair. So good for you in that. And I hope that what I talk about in giving you a perspective on your circumstances and on your question is helpful to you so that you can navigate this in the best way that you can for yourself that will allow you to heal. So she had the affair, and this man is choosing to stay, which is most common for good men because of their values, because of the kids. So this man is choosing to stay for the bigger picture of his kids' well-being, which shows that he is a good man. In short, a good man wants to take responsibility, can see the bigger picture, sacrifice his own needs or wants for that bigger picture, for his values, for things like his children, and to see his commitment and his vows through for that bigger picture. That's the foundation of a good man. So it's very clear to me in his question and what he's experiencing and his choice to stay for his kids that he is a good man. So what this man needs to know, what the men listening who are in this circumstance where your wife has cheated or had an affair and she's wanting to work on it together and has made you out to be the problem, you have to know that there is nothing to work on together in the marriage. There's nothing to work on together in the marriage. That the marriage is broken and the marriage has failed because she is not apologizing. She is not showing genuine remorse. She's not coming to you asking, what do I need to do to fix this? What can I do to earn your forgiveness? What do I need to do to regain your trust? How long do you need? And what, what can I do? I'm the problem here. I messed up big time. And I've clearly got some issues I need to work on in myself of how I allowed this to happen. She's not coming to him saying any of those things. She's not trying to keep her word and follow through to try to fix it. This is a circumstance of gaslighting her husband that he's a horrible father and husband and that they need to go work on this together in couples counseling. So that's why the marriage is broken and has failed. There's nothing to reconcile because there is no genuine remorse on her side and there's no accountability or responsibility, which is sadly very common for women when we cheat or have an affair. There's an entitlement of I'm entitled to this because of what my husband has done or how he has made me feel or how I don't feel loved by him, that's what caused this to happen, and there's no accountability or responsibility in it. So by going to couples counseling, it's just another way for her to continue to build a case against you. That, and what he shared, that she's already painted him as a really bad husband and father. And I assure you, 100% guaranteed, the only reason she wants to go to couples counseling is so that she can get her victim story, the story she's created about how you are the problem and what you've done for her to have a 5-year affair. She wants to get her story that she's created of how you are to blame validated by a therapist so she can continue to absolve herself of any accountability or responsibility in her own bad behavior. So there's nothing good, as this man stated in his question, there's nothing good that will come out of therapy. It's just a way to make you the problem for her bad behavior. So since she's complaining and making you out to be the bad father, to be the bad husband, this is her victim story of why she had the affair. It's every woman's victim story of why we would have an affair. Is what our husbands have done, not done, have made us feel, not made us feel, that the affair happened and we were vulnerable to another man being interested in us. But the truth is, we feel entitled to it because of that story, are looking for a reason, an excuse, and a way to absolve ourselves of any responsibility. So because of the blame and wanting to continue to make you the problem, there's nothing to reconcile. There's nothing to work on together. All working on it means to her is doing the laundry list of expectations that she will lay out for you in therapy of what she needs you to do to prove to her that you are a good husband and father, which is impossible. It will never, ever be good enough, and she will continue to move the goalpost further of what she needs you to do. You will never do it right. You will never do it enough. And the key issue here is you are not the problem. She is the problem. She's the one that had the 5-year affair. And her wanting to work on it together is just another way she's trying to gaslight you that you are the problem in her infidelity. So you tell her, I'm not working on this together. You need to work out the issues in you that caused this to happen. And here's what would show me your genuine remorse and genuine willingness to change and take accountability for your actions and actually follow through to show me that you can change and that your intentions are good. She won't do it. She will use that as more ammo to blame you and make you out to be a horrible husband. And how dare you put this on me? So this is about knowing the reality of the situation that you are in. And for the other men listening who are in this circumstance of your wife cheated or had an affair and she's blaming you, making you the problem, has no genuine remorse, and isn't making steps to change. She's not making steps to reconcile, asking you, what do I need to do? But you're choosing to stay for the bigger picture of your kids or other values. The purpose and the perspective that I'm giving isn't to be a victim, isn't to be bitter or hateful or stay stuck in anger, even though, of course, that's more than understandable and reasonable in these situations. But it's to know the reality of what you are navigating and the reality of what you are dealing with so that you can stay strong and grounded in yourself and not get sucked in to the gaslighting of your wife trying to make this a we problem. It is a her problem. And a good man needs to know that because you're vulnerable and susceptible to, you're right, what do I need to look at that caused this to happen? Which is such a stark difference of what happens when the tables are turned. When a good man cheats or has an affair, steps outside the marriage, what do I need to do? What can I do? Tell me what I need to do to earn your forgiveness. How do we make this work? He's all in and then does all the things. And sadly, a woman will never forgive. A good man can actually forgive his wife for cheating or for infidelity. But a woman will never, or most women will never come and say, this is all on me. She will rope the husband in to how he's the problem in it. And a good man is susceptible and gets sucked right into that. So the goal is to not get sucked into that, to stand very clear in the reality that she's blaming you, trying to make you the problem, and you are not the problem. That allows you to stay objective and strong and grounded in yourself as you navigate it and manage it based on your choice to stay. So to continue to support this man and other men in a similar situation, we are going to cover 5 critical things good men need to know to survive their wife cheating on them. 5 critical things good men need to know to survive their wives cheating on them. So this is for men who have decided to stay, either because of their kids or other values they have, usually religion or faith, or they take their vows very seriously. And even though they have a valid reason to break the vows, they choose to stay because their moral code guides them to stay. So this is for men who have decided to stay after their wife has cheated. And this list is for men in the circumstance where your wife is blaming you, has not taken accountability, is not genuinely remorseful, and is not committed or willing to work on herself to change the flaws in her that caused it to happen. So that's who this list is for, because there's nothing to work on together. You are not the problem in her infidelity. She is. And because she blames you and she's not willing to take responsibility for her wrongdoings, there is nothing to fix or work on. The goal is you have to learn to manage the relationship, to navigate it in the reality of what it is, the best that you can, while also working to rebuild yourself. And if you're choosing to stay with a woman who has cheated on you and she's blaming you and making you the problem and not remorseful, then it's crucial that you become grounded in your decision to stay, that it's your choice to stay, so that you are not a victim. It's in taking responsibility for your choice to stay in spite of the circumstances that this is how you heal and let go of the emotional hurt caused by her infidelity. And you do that for yourself. It's a gift you give yourself. I have a live episode on forgiveness, and that would be another really good episode to go watch to support you in this. So getting into the 5 critical things good men need to know to survive his wife cheating on him. Number 1, when she threatens divorce, you need to have the courage and bravery to say, go ahead, get the papers drawn up, I will sign them. This is critical to know, because staying with a woman who has cheated and continues to blame you, and if you're following this advice in perspective and tell her, I'm not working on this with you, this is yours to work on, here's what you need to work on and what I need to happen to be able to forgive you and for you to regain my trust. And she's not a woman who's willing to do that and not looking at herself and blaming you, she will threaten divorce. She will use that as ammo to say, you're not willing to work on it. You don't care about this marriage. You're not fighting for it. I am out. And she will threaten divorce. So you want to have and work to have the courage and strength and bravery to say, go ahead. That's fine. If you want to leave, leave. Don't come back. The reason good men want to have the courage and bravery to say that is that good men, because they have built their lives around their commitment in their marriage. They have built their lives around their children and what they've invested into the relationship. It's become their identity. They're terrified of divorce. And as women, we know that. And in our lack of commitment and our entitlement to break our vows so easily, we know the divorce and threatening a divorce is the leverage that we have against a good man in a marriage to stay in control, continue to have the power, and continue to be able to emasculate and gaslight him into being the problem. So when a good man is able to say, go ahead, it takes that leverage away. And it doesn't work. It takes all the steam out of a woman's knowing that she has that leverage. So if you say, go ahead, file the papers, there's a 90% chance that she won't. And she'll actually stop threatening divorce because she knows it doesn't work on you. And you can know that because she didn't leave for the other man. And she didn't leave the marriage saying, I messed up. I had an affair. I'm clearly not committed and don't want to put you through any more pain, so I'm leaving. Or she decides she wants to leave with the man she's had the affair with. And the reason a woman won't leave is she still wants the security of the marriage with her husband, and she still wants the control and power she's gained over him. So that's why good men need to know when she threatens divorce, it's very empty. And you want to take the hooks out of you that she has in you to make you so scared of that, because it lets her know it works. So when you say, okay, go. When are you getting the papers? When can I expect those by? She'll be floored. And it takes that leverage away from her. The second thing good men need to know to survive their wife cheating on them when they're choosing to stay, by staying, this is number 2, by staying, it is really important you regain your confidence to know yourself as a good man, a good husband, and a good father. What happens for good men is they get lost from their natural state of knowing themselves as a good man, because of the gaslighting of how as women we make you the problem and you are to blame for everything in the marriage, including an affair on your wife's part or cheating on your wife's part. It weakens a good man to where he loses sight of who he is, and he believes the things his wife is telling him about who he is and how awful he is as a husband and a father. And so he'll say, well, I did do X, Y, and Z that she's upset with me about, and I could see how that would push her away and this could happen. So maybe it really is me that's the problem. So staying with a wife who has cheated and isn't going to take accountability and do the work herself to change, you have to look for the evidence and rebuild yourself and regain your confidence to know that you are a good man and you are a good husband and a good father, and the things your wife is telling you about you are not true. You have to look for the evidence to know this isn't true about me. So one of the best ways that a good man in this circumstance can know he's a good man when he's lost sight of that in himself is that if you are staying because you see the big picture of your kids and their well-being or another value or faith, that lets you know, and you're trying to make the marriage work, that lets you know you're a good man, that you value responsibility and seeing things through and doing what it takes to try to make it work the best you can. Another way that you can know you are a good man is who you are out in the world and who you are at work and your success and competency and respect and appreciation you get at work, your ability to work well with others and collaborate. That who are you out in the world outside of your marriage? Because it's only when you come home and the only person in your life making you feel like a failure is your wife, and when you come home and you believe and buy into the things she's telling you about who you are and have unknowingly given your power away to her to be the judge of you, the judge of the relationship and how things are supposed to look. So those are two ways that you can slow down to reflect, to know yourself as a good man, because your wife has been so convincing in her gaslighting of you that you are not. And then when you react to her out of the crazy making she's stirring up in the relationship, and then you react poorly or out of character, you say something or you withdraw or you hit a wall, you say, oh, well, God, she's right. I did X, Y, and Z, very clear here. And that's the numbers she can do on you. What you have to realize is you would never do those things and act out of character if she was nice and treated you with respect and loved you. You would never, ever do any of those things. And you have to know that. You have to regain that belief in yourself. The third thing a good man needs to know if he's choosing to stay after his wife has cheated and she's not taking accountability and continuing to blame him, you must stop trying to make her happy. And another way that I phrase this, and again, this is number 3. Another way I phrase this is you have to retire from making her happy. That there's nothing you can do to change her perspective. You are not the problem in why she was so unhappy that she stepped out to have an affair or cheat. She's the source of her unhappiness, not you. And she's the only one that can make herself happy. You have no ability, no power, no control to make her happy. The more you try to do things to make her happy, the more resentful she will be, the angrier she will become, because she recognizes there's nothing that you do that makes her happy, and it butts her up against how unhappy she is in herself. So especially in this circumstance where she's had an affair, she's stepped outside the marriage, and she's not remorseful or willing to work on herself to fix the issues in herself that caused it to happen, you must retire from making her happy. And what you do with that energy that you've put into trying to do the things to make her happy, that's never enough. You have to refill your emotional gas tank by doing things that you enjoy, doing the things that make you happy, to recharge yourself. So start doing the things you stopped doing. Go hunting, go fishing, watch football, play your video games, go shoot hoops, get back into cycling, get back to the gym. Do the things that fill you up and recharge you. Because here's the thing, she's already unhappy. She's already angry. She's already continuing to blame you for the problems when she stepped out. So she's always going to be angry at you. So you might as well take what you're throwing into what I say, an empty bucket with holes that never fills. Take that back and put it into yourself. And no, there's no validity, there's no reality in what she is going to be upset with you, and that you're doing the things for yourself to be happy. She's just being a victim and being resentful and blaming you. And it's like, just get a bigger doghouse, because you're permanently in her doghouse through no fault of your own or doing of your own. So it's saying, oh, well, be mad, be angry. I'm going to do the things to make me happy and to fill myself up, because you need the strength and you need the energy to be able to navigate the ongoing blame, gaslighting, and emasculation you're going to continue to face through staying. So that's number 3. Number 4, do not go to couples counseling. Do not go to couples counseling. When your wife is cheating and she's not willing to take accountability, and she wants you to go to couples counseling to work on it together, she's only going to pick a couples counselor that will validate her victim story and how you are the problem. Guaranteed, she will not go or continue to go to a couples counselor who holds her accountable in any way. The first sign that a good couples counselor is saying, hey, this is on you, you need to take responsibility, she'll say, I don't like that counselor, I don't want to go back to them, can we find a new one? Promise, guaranteed. Because that's the only kind of couples counselor she wants to go to, so she can continue to bash you, make you the problem, make you the bad husband and father. And again, she will only pick a counselor who will validate her in that and make you the problem. Most couples counselors are trained in a gynocentric view of therapy, where the woman is the innocent one and the man is to blame. There are some good ones out there who will hold women accountable. And what I hear from men who find those counselors and they go to those couples counselor, my wife won't go back. 99.9% of the time. So in their training and in the woman-centric, that's what gynocentric means, woman-centric views of traditional therapy, create a bias for a couples counselor to take the wife's story. They're not trained to see through the story. They're not trained to see the things that I teach about. And they will buy right into that story, consider it as truth and accurate, and make you the problem. I'm very, very firmly believe and stand strong on that good men should never go to marriage counseling. And I have an episode on that as well about marriage counseling. So you want to check that out. If somehow you do decide to go to marriage counseling because you're not strong enough yet to say no, or you're just doing what you need to do to manage things along and keep the peace and keep things as stable as possible, mainly men do that for their kids, then what I suggest doing is saying, no, I don't want to go to couples counseling. What we should do is each of us go to individual counseling and commit to work on the problems that we each bring into the marriage. So I'd like for you to work on the problems in you that caused you to cheat and step outside the marriage. And I will work on the issues I know that I have that I need to work on. Good men are the first to admit that they're not perfect and they have flaws and they've made mistakes, and they are more than willing to work on those things and get the help that they need to grow and learn and develop themselves and become better. And you say, and a good man wants to say, please tell me the issues you're going to work on to your individual counselor. I will tell you mine, and we'll come together without a couples counselor and discuss what we're learning and how we're growing and our commitment to change that we're getting out of our individual therapy. She won't agree to it. She will make excuses. She'll tell you, yeah, I'll make that appointment. Yep, I'll call. And you'll keep following up. Did you make the call? Have you set an appointment yet? No, I've got these things going on at work, and the kids have these things coming up next week, and just it's really busy. So I got to wait until next month. And you'll check in. Did you make the appointment? No, now we're nearing the holidays or it's summer, and it's just, there's a lot going on, but I'll get to it. Or she'll just flat out tell you, no, I'm not doing that. We're either going to couples counseling or I'm not doing it. And it's just further validation that she does not have intentions of changing or taking accountability. And number 5, the 5th critical thing that a good man needs to know to survive his wife cheating on him and he's choosing to stay. Number 5, do not be naive that it is not going to happen again. Do not be naive to think that her cheating and stepping outside the marriage is not going to happen again. So not in the way of being a victim, because remember, you're choosing to stay. So you have to take responsibility for your choice to stay and why you're making that choice so that you're not a victim. That hurts you. I like in victim, we're angry, we're hurt, we're bitter, we can be hateful and run ourselves down to the ground. And that's like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. It hurts you. So the key is you have to take responsibility for your choice. So in knowing, don't be naive, it's not going to happen again, is to be constructive and objective and in the reality. You want to assume she's going to cheat again. You assume she's going to cheat again so that you watch for the signs that tell you it's happening again. And her blaming you and not willing to take accountability and change and right her wrong. She is not to be trusted. She is not to be trusted. Good men forgive and forget so easily. And then a byproduct of that is then you can become really naive and ignore the red flags of what's happening right in front of you. It's crystal clear to me and crystal clear to most any everyday person when there are signs that there's another man involved with his wife. Sadly, I have to share that with good men regularly of like, can you see what's happening right in front of your face? And they don't want to see it because it's incredibly hurtful. And despite the atrocious behaviors of how their wives treat them, they still somehow trust her and see that, no, she wouldn't do that. And when it's so obvious what's happening. Or no, I don't really think it's gone that far. When it has. So what you want to be able to do is that in hindsight, when your wife has cheated or had an affair, you want to be able to look back in hindsight, what were the clues that seem obvious now that she was having an affair? To encourage you to look back. Okay, what were the signs? What did I miss? What did I make excuses for? What showed me that this was happening? That way, when it happens again, you can catch the signs pretty quickly. So I want to give just a few obvious signs pulled together that are very clear indicators that your wife is likely having an affair, thinking of having an affair, and an emotional affair. She suddenly loses a lot of weight very quickly. She becomes super protective of her phone and always has it by her side, will not let you on it. And tied to that, might secretly go out of the room to text or talk with someone or sit in her car talking on the phone and not come into the house when she gets home from work or an outing. And she's very protective and very, very defensive if you even suggest that something might be going on behind your back. That's one of the best signs, is how defensive she gets and how she tells you, I can't believe you don't trust me. You must not love me if you think I would do that. I'm just so offended that you would think I would do that. And then we're so convincing in our gaslighting. Go, man, whoa, so sorry. You're right. I'm so sorry. No, that's your number one sign it's happening. Or she's thinking of it. But likely it's already in motion. Some other signs. She buys a lot of new clothes and really attractive looking clothes, and she's not wearing them or getting them for you. She's dressing up and wearing perfume to leave the house. She's going on trips or demanding to be able to go on trips on her own. She just needs a break. She needs to get away. She's reconnecting with old boyfriends on social media or in other ways, or even having male friends. She's working late a lot or not coming home in a consistent schedule. So those are all very, very good signs that an affair is happening. And again, this is about knowing the reality. So you might, what do I do with that? if I see she's having another affair, she's cheating again, what do I do with that? It's further validation of this is who she is, and I'm choosing to stay for the kids and navigate this the best I can. And I'm not getting sucked in anymore. And now I know who she is. You can choose to bring it up and confront her, but she will lie and gaslight you, like I spoke about just a few seconds ago. And then you know you're spot on. So those are the 5 critical things that good men need to know to navigate and survive their wife cheating when they are choosing to stay. And again, it's about staying in the reality, taking responsibility for your choice to stay, and rebuilding yourself so that you're confident and grounded in who you are as a good man and don't get sucked into the crazy making. All of this was in the framework, again, of a wife not willing to change, not willing to take accountability for her mistake and wrongdoing. And a good man is choosing to stay for the bigger picture of his kids or other important moral values to him. There are women who have made a mistake and stepped outside their marriage and are remorseful and want to work on themselves. I have a couple in my programs right now. So it's not that they're not out there, but most common is a woman who will not take responsibility and make her husband the problem of why she cheated.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. If you haven't, go check me out on YouTube, Rumble, and X. You can find the links in the description below to connect with me there. For those women listening who know you are the problem and want a path forward to take responsibility and change your own inner turmoil and unhappiness, I have a course for women called the Happiness Program, which is the solution to the unhealthy relationship you have with yourself and the issues and challenges you have in your life and your marriage. You can find the link in the description below to apply for a free consultation with me. And for the good men listening who want a solution to take back the power you've unknowingly given away to your wife, I have a course for you too called the Marriage Rescue Course for Good Men Only that teaches you how to rebuild your strength and confidence as a good man so that you can navigate the relationship with your wife in a healthy, constructive way. Again, you can find the link in the description below to apply for a free consultation with me. Thank you again so much for listening, and I look forward to talking with you soon.